stay. All right, so you can't see it, but there is a truck running there. I don't know if you guys can see any of the sky, but it is absolutely beautiful here early this morning. So first things first, I have a load of grubbings still on the back of the truck from yesterday's job. So I gotta go over to the pit, dump that first, get the Sterling fired up for Trevor. He might be there by then. Chances are that will need to be boosted to get started. It's got one new battery, but the other two are pretty weak, and it hasn't ran since last Thursday or Friday, and we've had some cold days, so I'm kind of thinking that that will need a little bit of a help getting started this morning. All right, well, the sun is up. We're over here close to Windsor. Beautiful section of road over here, nothing but farms. Ski hill. I like this stretch, Highway 14. I got another 12 minutes or so to get to the quarry. I've never been there before. And then I don't know how far it is to get to the tower. There's a long service road once you get off the asphalt just to get into where we're working. So it's gonna take a little while, but it's about 7:45 right now, so I'm still not doing bad for time. About an hour's drive from the pit to here, to their quarry. So it's not like it's close. And then we got a bit to go. The job is like Elversos, Mount Uniacke area. That's where we're working, right off the 103. It's funny because you can see the tower, I mean the 101. You can see the tower right off the 101, but because of where it's at, you got to take the service road. It's like 15 clicks to get in there, if not longer. Crossed a couple bridges that needed to get fixed after we had that heavy rain. I originally quoted this job like back end of July, 1st of August, but then we couldn't get in to do the work. We got in with the excavator, and then when Trevor was coming out, there was 5-ton load limit sign on the bridge. So I went in and checked one of the bridges out where the 5-ton load limit was on there, and underneath the concrete supports at the bottom of the bridge, there was like a 2-foot gap there where there was just nothing but water flowing through. So they got her fixed now. She's opened back up again, and yeah, we're ready to roll. Okay, so Trevor's on the scale there right now. Just waiting to get his slip. Here he comes. So it's saying that we have a 30-minute round trip, or 30-minute each way, so an hour round trip. So let's go. Nothing like having that low winter sun shining right in your eyes the whole way into the site. And just got a call from Nick. He's sort of there with the excavator and the 550 right now, but there's a spot where there's a pond on each side of the road, and they kind of built the road across it. And he just said that the water is right up over the road, and he wants to wait for me to come take a look at it. Chances are what we'll do is we'll unload the excavator and walk the excavator across, just to make sure that the road is still there and it's not too deep for the pickup trucks. I'm sure the dump trucks will be fine, but make sure it's okay for the pickup trucks to go across so there'll be a bunch of water in places where it doesn't need to be. So I guess we'll keep trekking on here and then see what happens when we get there. Alright, so here it is. It's not deep on this side, but there's a great big clump of organic moss waste crap that washed up on and is laying on here from that storm we had back in July. So we got to move that out of the way because it was pretty narrow coming through here. So Nick will get that cleaned up. As you can see, that big pile, and it's such a glare here. We'll get that cleaned up, and then we'll be good to go. So they built this road like right across this pond. It just flows over top, and it leaves stuff laying here all the time. I don't know what they're. It's definitely got to get built up higher, but they should have a good sized culvert or something underneath here. This is just getting worse and worse, and it comes up and then it washes it away. You know, in the wintertime, if there's a bunch of ice up here, when it melts, it's just going to take the gravel wherever it wants. All right, now it's the dump truck's turn to go across. Now we got the big pile of crap cleaned out of the way. Nothing to it. All right, so let's get here and get set up. Get a load dump, snap around, head back, start grabbing some more. One load drops in a big hole. We got a few big holes to fix up before we get to the hill that was washed out that needs to be re-graveled. And we haven't been in there now for, geez, probably 2.5, 3 months since we went in enough to fix it up, so they could get trucks could at least get in, waiting for the bridge to get fixed. So I don't even know if what we did to fix up the road is still in place or if it's washed out or what. So probably in between loads, like I drive my load, Trevor drops his load, and then we got about an hour. By the time I drive out, go get loaded and come back, be an hour or so in between where Nick can go in and sort of size things up and see what's going on. Brady and Riley are on their way with the skid steer, because once we get back to that hill, there's a good chance that these trucks aren't going to get up the hill to dump. This truck might, but I know the Sterling won't for sure. This truck's got wicked new tires and much better lockers on it than what the Sterling has. So the skid steer's on its way, so if we have to dump sort of at the bottom of a hill, the skid steer we can use the skid steer to bring the material to where we need it, and then the machine, the excavator, can do some of the grading and stuff like that. So just have to wait and see what happens once we get to that point. But the first obstacle is taken care of, and that was getting across this causeway, I'll call it here. Alright, so let's see what we can get into here. Oh, the boys are here with the skid steer. Here was the first spot I dumped the load this morning. This was a big water hole. It's pretty rough through here, but this isn't really the area of concern, to be honest. Trevor must have dropped his load. Fill up another water hole. We're going to touch up these spots as well. We're going to try to get this hill first. Half a load in each hole here or something. it's all rock. There's a hole. Boys. All right, let's see if we can make her up here. Comes the boys in the white dump trucks. All right, so I gotta head on to the next order of business. So I'm in the Ram, the dually now. Brady's in the International, and Riley's back there with the skid steer with Nick and the 80. Brought the pintle hitch for the trailer, so in case we get this job done today, we'll be able to hook up the trailer with the skid steer to the International. It's all ready to go with the pintle and the plug and all that stuff, but we've never checked the plug to see if the lights and all that work. So anyway, I told Brady that if it is done today and the skid steer is ready to come out of here, then plug it in first. Make sure that the lights all work before you take time to switch the hitch around from a 2 5/16 to a pintle. And if the wiring does work, then I'm just gonna leave the pintle on that trailer. That's what it came with. Or just to leave it on that trailer so we can use it with that truck. I've got 2 hitches that are pintle, you know, sort of ready. My Gen Y is ready for pintle. Just got to use the little adapter thing to put on top. And then I have another hitch, just a regular 20,000 pound, I think that one's rated at. That's not really a pintle. It's 2 5/16, but it has the drop down arm that you can make it into a pintle. So that's pretty cool that we can use this truck for hauling the skid steer and stuff around, at least for now, until I get a float, like an actual float for it. But it's nice because, you know, that's one less pickup truck that you would have to have going to the site. You don't gotta take a pickup truck just for the reason of getting the skid steer there or whatever. Just hooking up the dump truck. So this is the bridge here that had the weight restriction on it after the storm, and I came and looked at it and I could definitely see why, that's for sure. So let's see what it looks like now. Oh. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, they still got the forms there and everything. So right where you see on top there, that concrete, underneath that there was nothing. So they built this form, put all these 6x6 ins, ran that runner across, and then put some more concrete there. yeah, it was hollow underneath there. Sandbags. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so I had to end up leaving that job yesterday because Bauer had hockey at 4:30 back in Bridgewater, so that's quite a ways away. So Brady took over the truck driving responsibilities, and I did a couple other things before I had to deal with that. But anyway, we're back here at the cottage now. Did a bunch of running around this morning looking at jobs and getting stuff ready for the rest of the week. We're getting a bunch of rain this afternoon and all night tonight, so I'm not really doing a whole lot today, not starting anything. Brady and Trevor are both in the dump trucks on a job for another contractor, and Riley's cleaning up the job that was in a previous video. So anyway, I'm back here doing a little bit of cutting before it gets too rainy. So I'm gonna take this spruce tree down here first, probably pick a couple others along the road to do before it gets too bad. You know, just cutting just clear cutting the forest. So that's what I'm doing back here. Reading some of the comments, man, from some other videos makes me laugh. But anyway, there's a whole bunch of spruce here right along the road, so I might end up taking some of those ones. Continue working my way out, but anyway, let's get this one down first. Sometimes things in construction just suck. Had a great plan today. Fall through. It's all ready to go. I already had the truck hooked up to the excavator that I want, with the bucket on the trailer that I want. Everything ready to go for tomorrow's job. Come over actually to get the 350 to take the dump trailer and go get a couple prefab footings and a couple lengths of pipe for tomorrow's job, and boom, here's what I see. Right off. Some guys would just run that down the road. But I've got the Diamond C here with the ram, so unchain it, take it off, bring it over, put it on this trailer, take that trailer to the shop, get the tire put back on the rim. Yeah, sometimes plans just don't work.